Viola, Arkansas. This farm's been in my family for over 100 years, and my husband and I just moved here and we're starting to do some renovations. And I wanted to start with showing you what I'm doing with the garden and the greenhouse today. First, I would like to start with this greenhouse. This is a pre-existing greenhouse that was on the property when we moved in. As you can see, it's kind of tattered. It's had some weather damage. It hasn't been used in several years and it needs a lot of work. But it actually is in really good shape. The structure itself, it has weeds growing up in it that are going to need to be torn down. Some of the wood shelves have to be replaced, but the actual frame of it is in really good shape. We're going to need to replace some of the panels on the outside, but we're going to get to work on this later. First, I want to show you my other greenhouse. Hey, I wanted to share one of my garden projects with you guys. This is what I am building as a vining plant garden. So what this actually is an old, I guess it's not old, we bought it when we first moved here a few months ago. It's a dog pen, and it had a tarp over the top to provide shade for the dog, and then the pen itself. We only used it for a couple of weeks until we got our fence up. So once we got the fence up, I didn't want to get rid of it because it was brand new and it's really well made. So we decided to go ahead and turn it into a vining greenhouse. Now what I did is, on the bottom, I took the tarp off the top. So the tarp that was over the top, I've now put it on the bottom and have lined the bottom of the greenhouse with it so that the grass and weeds won't go through. What I'm going to do now is line the perimeter with these planters. And we will go all the way around, and I'll have a couple in the middle. And then we're going to line what's rest with these river petals. So it'll look real nice and organized. It'll be easy to walk around. And the hope is that the plants that we plant in the planter will grow up over the fence and over the top. We can grow even cantaloupes that will grow up top here and hang down, and we'll be able to pick them and eat them without them ever having touched the ground. Another benefit of the vining greenhouse is because it has this nice chain link perimeter around it, it keeps the dogs out of the greenhouse itself. So they may actually end up being able to reach some of the fruit that grows on the side, but they won't be able to get into the greenhouse and eat the plants that are inside. This is my garden box, and I wanted to show you how I was building it. This area back here behind the house actually used to be the foundation where a separate part of the house was, and about 30 years ago or so my parents had this area torn down, and it still had the foundation around it. So my mother turned it into a flower garden. I wanted to grow more vegetables and herbs and things like that instead of flowers, so I decided to design an actual raised garden bed for it. I'm starting out with just this one side. Eventually we'll expand it over to the other side as well. So what I've done is I purchased these blocks at Home Depot and some 2x8, I think, boards that I also got from Home Depot, and they just kind of stick together like a puzzle. You don't have to nail anything or attach anything permanently. The boards just slide right in to these bricks, and the bricks are just set on top of each other. Because I used this design, I could make the bed specifically the shape that I needed it. So I could make it as small or as large as I wanted, and I wanted it to cover the entire outline of the old foundation. So it goes all the way around. Then what I decided to do is add these slats in between so it wouldn't just be one great big square. My thought was if I had one great big square, I wouldn't be able to reach the plants that are in the middle. So I created a large box on either side to plant vegetables in, it's going to be pretty big enough for that. And then in this middle area, I created a section for potted herbs, a gravel walkway on either side. Now what I wanted to show you is I'm lining the bottom of each planter with cardboard. The idea behind the cardboard is that it prevents the weeds from growing up into the garden bed, but the cardboard is also biodegradable and eventually it will just turn into soil. So if you can see here, I'm about to fill this section with gravel and turn it into a gravel walkway. There's one space here where there's still a weed growing through. So what I'm going to do is cover that section up with the cardboard to prevent that weed from coming through. Sometimes you do have to put 2 or 3 layers, because if you can see in this box, we already have a couple of layers of cardboard and there's still weeds growing up. So before we start putting dirt in here, we will add at least 1 more layer, maybe 2, to prevent the weeds from growing. Now that I have this section completely covered and there's no weeds showing, I'm going to open up these bags of gravel and fill up this section with gravel. I want to thank my husband Larry for emptying the bags of gravel. And here I will show it's about 4 bags. Like I said, it's just river gravel that I bought from Home Depot. Now I'm going to just use the rake to spread it around. And as you can see, that made a nice little gravel walkway. What I'm going to start on now is finishing putting another layer of cardboard over the 2 big sections on the end, and then we're going to start filling those with dirt. After I get a good layer of dirt on each side, I'm going to go back through with the walkways and add some more gravel, then add some more dirt until I get it kind of the depth that I need to plant things and to make sure that the cardboard isn't going to show through. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more of Mountain Home Living.